Yo guys, welcome back to another video. It's NFL time, baby. It is the start of the preseason, so I thought I'm going to start bringing out these power rankings, predictions, things like that, get the content stacking so that when we hit week one, I can start doing week reviews and things for the people. Obviously, from the title of today's video, I'm going to be doing my NFC playoff predictions, who I think is going to make the playoffs this year. Normally, there's a decent amount of changes, and I'm looking through, and I really don't know who I'm going to change. It's kind of odd. It almost looks like I'm going to have identical to what last year basically was. Um, but without further ado, I'm not trying to waste everybody's time. I'm just going to take a quick look at what last year was, obviously, for refresh people's memories. 14-3 for the Eagles, 12-5 for the Commanders. Cowboys and Giants suck. Rams and Seahawks both 10-7. This is a really tight knit division. Detroit Packers. I mean, I'm a Packers fan. If any of you guys don't know that, this was a crazy year to be in the NFC North. Two 14-win teams is just insanity. And then there's the Bears and the Buccaneers won. It came a little bit down to the wire, but the Falcons kind of blew that. And then, I mean, the NFC South's got to be the worst division, right? So starting with the NFC East, and then I'll quickly go over. In last place, I still have the Giants. I think the Giants are still going to be like one of the worst teams, but they'll go like, I don't know, they'll probably get like 5-6 wins. Next, Cowboys. This whole Micah thing is just Micah Parsons is just not what every Cowboy fan wants to hear. Jerry Jones is probably the worst owner when it comes to signing players he drafted. I don't know why he's like that, but he always just ends up costing himself more money because he doesn't do it earlier. And then I do think it's going to be this exact order, actually. I think the Commanders will make it, and they will be, guys, my first wild card team. So I believe the Commanders are going to make the playoffs this year, obviously coming off of a NFC Conference Finals appearance. They're going to be looking to continue that with Jaden Daniels. However, sophomore slumps are a real thing. You can see it with C.J. Stroud last year. And while Jaden had such a generational rookie season that I think he'll still be great and they'll still be a contender, I don't think they're enough to beat who will win the division, in my opinion, the Eagles. They've lost a few key defensive players, but they've also drafted well again. Howie Roseman obviously knows what he's doing. And I believe they're just too strong. They'll probably coast to this, probably win by, again, two games or more. Then we're going to go on to the NFC West. Sorry, I'm just looking at some. So the Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers were the standings last year. Obviously, the 49ers dealt with tons of injuries. Just across the board, losing CMC was huge. And I'm looking through this and I'm thinking again we could be close, but I have the Rams winning the division again. I'm high on the Rams. Obviously Matthew Stafford's back scares me a little bit, especially if he doesn't get healthy fast. They'll be stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo, which nobody wants. Let's just be honest. Devontae Adams probably crying somewhere because he traded to get out of that situation on the Raiders. But regardless, I have the Rams going first. I think they'll probably get closer to 11, 12 wins. I'm really high on them. I think they're fantastic. And I'm actually going to put the 49ers second. So that's going to be my new, not first to last to first, or worst to first, but worst to second. I think the 49ers schedule is just too easy. Even though they've lost key people this offseason, obviously Debo's gone. They've lost a few defensive things. They still have big hitters. They still have Nick Bosa. They still have Fred Warner. You know, they got Trent Williams. He's getting older, but he's still got another year. Purdy got his money, so now it's time for Purdy to ball out. I think that will be the case. So they'll be, and I do actually have, the 49ers being a playoff team. I think they're going to be the last wild card team. I think they're going to be like 9-7 or 9-8 and somehow make it. That could just be wrong, but that's what I've got. Then I've got the Seahawks third. I'm interested to see Sam Darnold on the Seahawks, but obviously DK's moved. I believe Lockett's retired. I mean, they obviously have Smith and Jigma is who I meant to say, so I'm gonna have to edit that. Couldn't remember his name. He's gonna be phenomenal. I think he'll take a huge stride this year. And then the Cardinals are hopeless. I don't know what they're gonna do as a franchise. Going on to the NFC North. So I have a bit of a hot take here. Just kidding. Again, it's really boring in terms of who I have. I have the Lions winning their division. Again, that's right. There's going to be no divisional winners changes this year on the NFC side. 15-2, probably go like 12-5, if we're being honest, maybe 13-4, depending on health. Then I have the Packers second. This might just be biased, Jacob, but I do believe that the Packers are still a good enough team. Everyone talks about how they don't really have any standout players, which is true. We have no, blue chip, just superstars. We also don't really have a ton of weaknesses, maybe apart from corner. I would like to see us improve pretty hard on corner, get a little bit more in pass rush, but we don't have a wide receiver one, but we have five wide receiver two and threes. So a lot of people to throw to in this offense. Matt LaFleur obviously knows what he's doing. Third, I'm going to have the Bears. I think they're going to make a dramatic improvement, probably get closer to 9-10 wins. However, I still think they're 1 year off the playoffs. I'm not on high as Caleb as everybody else is. And I think Ben Johnson is an incredible offensive coordinator, but just because you're an incredible offensive coordinator does not mean you're going to be an incredible leader of men, an incredible head coach. So, and then I have the Vikings last. I think this was a bit of a weird season. I'm not trying to take anything away from them and Darnold, but they had like 9 one-score games that they won all of them. I expect them to fall a little bit with J.J. McCarthy and hopefully commit to this rebuild and develop. And then the Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers, Saints. I actually just have this legitimately. It's just going to be the same thing. They're going to go 10-7, probably. The Falcons, obviously, are running entirely with Penix now. I think this could be the end of Kirk Cousins as a starter. I think this is the end of Kirk Cousins as a starter. Panthers made a little bit of movement towards the end of the season with Bryce Young, and I really hope for his sake that he continues to develop a little bit, but they were nowhere near the playoffs. And the Saints are, in my opinion, the worst thing to be in football right now. They just have nothing to bank on, no quarterback concept of where they're going in that division. I think they're just a burning mess. If you've looked at their cap, good lord, it's all been downhill since that final Drew Brees year, if we're being honest. So yeah, guys, just to do a quick review, it's going to be the Eagles, the Eagles, Rams, Lions, and Bucks. Not being fancy, just keeping it the same. And then I'm gonna have the Commanders, the 49ers, and the Packers making the playoffs as wild cards. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way through, I'll be doing AFC teams tomorrow. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.